Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Morning Skate. My name is Andrew McGinnis for Wager Talk TV. You can find my work at sportsmemo.com, and this is episode number 2 of the Morning Skate, where I bring daily picks here in the NHL, talk about some news, talk about pretty much just around the league, and try and make some profit. So last night we are coming off a little bit of profit here. We had Tampa Bay on the puck line, and somehow, some way, that game slipped away from them quite a bit and ended up going to overtime. But again, Tampa Bay still has not yet been defeated in regulation, or yet pretty much at all in the month of February. So this team is absolutely dominating right now. They get the 4-3 win over the New York Rangers. Another interesting game yesterday was the Edmonton Oilers against the Toronto Maple Leafs. I mean, we had McDavid returning from his suspension in front of his home family, his hometown, his area, and they lose 6-2. I mean, this Leafs team absolutely pummeled them, goal after goal after goal, line by line. They completely dominated this Oilers team. Another interesting matchup was the Calgary-New Jersey one. I mean, I spoke really highly about the Flames, and I was really, really down on the New Jersey lineup. I mean, they weren't really suiting up anybody that's too special, too important, and I was really impressed with their ability to kind of keep things close. So Calgary won that 2-1, and of course, looking at another interesting one was Chicago and Anaheim. So this Anaheim team here, I mean, no matter what they do, they just can't seem to get it together. Chicago scrapes things out. We talked about Chicago in regulation yesterday on the podcast. They just barely won that for us, but decent plus 125 value on that. Had to take it, and Chicago gets the job done. Alex DeBrincat really taking care of business. Also, Patrick Kane continues to dominate this league. MVP candidate, absolutely. He's the one that got the go-ahead goal and the game winner for the Chicago Blackhawks. But today, we've got 2 more picks once again. We're going to take a look at the Edmonton Oilers as they travel to Ottawa to take on the Senators. And as we all know, I mean, this Senators team has pretty much packed it in. They've pretty much called it quits. Whatever you want to call it, wave the white flag. Whatever really it is, this Ottawa Senators team is pretty much done for. I mean, they lost their goal scorers. They lost Ryan Dzingel. They lost Mark Stone. They lost Matt Duchene. And they've pretty much declared that they're looking forward to the future. They're in that rebuild. They're thinking for the future at this point. And for me, at this point, I'm looking at this Edmonton Oilers team. That there is no think for the future. They have to get it together now. They can't wait till later. They have to start to get things shaped up and get things together. And what better of an opportunity to bounce back and get things together? You're settled in. They're on their East Coast road trip. They're well underway with it now. They're 0-1-1 to start the road trip. Now they head to Ottawa. And, this team, they've been surprising a lot of people. They're scoring 3 goals a game. And, one of the best over teams in the league, but yet they still can't get some key wins. So we're going to look at the Edmonton Oilers here, guys, and I think that this is a really good spot for them after a very frustrating team against a very frustrating game against a very talented Toronto Maple Leafs team. They got that top line. Once again, we see Zach Kassian up there in the top line. He adds some grit. He adds some aggressiveness. We got McDavid. We got Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. We know that they're the top-heavy guys. They're the guys that really get things going. Now we've got Alex Chiasson, Leon Draisaitl, Tobias Ryder up there on the second line. And then from down there, it's really questionable. But the biggest thing for me is the defense for the Oilers. They will get this game. They will get this win if they can be good defensively. And that's the biggest thing for them right now. Chris Russell, Darnell Nurse, Adam Larson, and Oscar Klefbom have to step things up. They have to be strong, have to be physical, have to get players out of the front of their net and be physical on the boards, get the puck out of their own end, and really take care of things that way. So, I mean, Ottawa's lost 5 straight, allowing 24 goals during that span, and they don't really have many goal scorers anymore. Looking at their line combinations, it's shocking. I mean, all of a sudden, Colin White is the top line center. Anthony Duclair, top line right winger. Brady Tkachuk, top line left winger. You look at the second line. Jean-Gabriel Pageau, Bobby Ryan, Zach Smith. And then from then on down, it's pretty much just AHLers or bottom tier players. It's just not top tier players. And I think this Edmonton Oilers team has a lot more experience. a lot more goal scoring capability, and they have a lot more aggressiveness right now. They want this more than the Ottawa Senators do. They have to get things together now and not later, and not wait for the time to come. I think this is a big game for them. They looked like they were off to a great start against the Maple Leafs last night, but as we all know, I mean, the Maple Leafs are a really talented team. They took care of things, and rightfully so. But looking at this one, I think things could get out of hand as well. I think this could be going over the total. I mean, total's gone over in 6 of Edmonton's last 8 games when playing Ottawa, 5 of the last 6 in Ottawa. And as far as Ottawa goes in general, guys, I mean, they're just absolutely going over the total in every single game they play in practically. And, that's even with the lineups they have now. So we're going to go with the over, and we're also going to go with Edmonton. You're paying a little bit steep of a price. You can get around minus 130, so that'll be an official play here on the podcast. Next one we're going to look at. It's a very interesting matchup here. We're going to talk about the New York Islanders. We're going to talk about Tampa Bay Lightning and the Boston Bruins. And looking at this one, it's a big matchup. I mean, 2 of the top powerhouses, 2 of the hottest teams in the Eastern Conference right now. This Bruins team can't be stopped. This Lightning team can't be stopped. We're at the end of the February 28th, recording this right now, and I look at this one going over the total. This Boston Bruins team has been an under team for the past little while to me. They've been outstanding from their goaltending perspective. Their defense have done a great job keeping the puck out of their own end, and their goal scorers have scored when they need to and then been defensive when they have to. But looking at Tampa Bay averaging 3.94 goals per game, and looking at their past several games where they scored 4 goals on New York, 4 goals on LA, 5 goals on Philly, 5 goals on Columbus, 6 goals on Dallas, 6 goals on Calgary, 5 goals on Florida, 5 goals on Pittsburgh. This team is dominant. They know how to score. They're absolute powerhouses. Their top line is ridiculous. I mean, we talked about them yesterday, when we took them on the puck line. I thought they'd get the job done. We're looking at them now on the over. We're seeing a very rare 5.5, guys. And I don't think you have to always nail the 5.5 when it's there. But this is a day and age where we're seeing 6s, 6.5s, 7s in the NHL. And these are 2 very strong teams. So sometimes for me personally, when I see a game when it's 2 top-tier teams, you might think they'll clash together, play defensive-style hockey. There's no doubt in my mind this one's at least a 4-2 game. I think we'll see 6 for sure in this one. You got guys like Kucherov, you got guys like Stamkos, Point, Bergeron, Marchand. Those guys are so talented that this is going to be a goal scorer's game. This is going to be a high-scoring game. I can guarantee it. And these guys will keep the tempo up very high. As far as goaltending goes, it has been good. We're seeing Louis Domingue in net, though, tonight for the Lightning, and he's been bailed out quite a bit. I mean, talk about run support in baseball. Well, he's had a lot of goal support here in hockey for the Lightning. But this one should go over the total. I think realistically, there's so many different spots here. You're seeing a lot of 6s now with this one. It opened at 5.5. I would go over 6 as well. Minus 140 now with that number. It released, my mistake, it released at 5.5, but now we're looking at a 6, and I just really do believe that this one's going to go over the total. I mean, you've got some talented players in this roster for both teams, and the head-to-head matchups over the past 3 games really have been, off to a great start off the get-go, and this really deems to me to be a really competitive game. And look at Boston's past couple games. Against San Jose, 4 goals for them. Against Vegas, 3 goals for them. Against LA, 4 goals. Against Anaheim, 3 goals. Against Chicago, 6 goals. Against LA again, 5 goals. This is a team that's been involved in higher scoring games than one might think. So we're going to look at over the total of 6. It's my mistake about the 5.5. We're going to go over the total in 6 in the Boston versus Tampa Bay game. And we're also going to take a look at the Edmonton Oilers on the money line versus the Ottawa Senators. This has been the Morning Skate. My name is Andrew McGinnis. Find me on Twitter at McGinnisPicks for the Wager Talk platform. You can find my work at sportsmemo.com. I have a 5% NBA release tonight, coming off a 4% winner last night in the NBA. Thanks so much for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow.